Hare Krishna, Kashish, Namaskar.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, Namaskar.
So, Kashish, it's a pleasure to have you with us on the podcast today. Thank you for
Same
agreeing.
here.
So, our guest Kashish has completed her master's in statistics from University of Delhi, graduating as a gold medalist. She has recently topped the Indian Statistical Service Examination with an All India rank 1. So, Kashish, that is quite a achievement actually, a remarkable achievement. So, many congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manik.
So, Kashish, one question that I usually ask to any statistician I meet is why they have taken stats as their career. The reason is that because during when I have taken stats, AI was not the buzzword, and maximum of the people used to do for go for engineering or doctor. So, why have you taken this general line and have done statistics?
Okay. So, honestly, it was never planned. Like during my school days, I remember I have not even heard of statistics as a different discipline which can be pursued in graduation or post graduation. But then, actually, my interest was always inclined towards mathematics ever since my school days. And even though I was more interested in government jobs for future, and a lot of people also suggested me to go for humanities instead of taking science. But then my interest in mathematics was it was quite unbeaten by any other intensive incentive. So that was the reason I was ready to take up mathematics. But then one of my teachers suggested that I should take up statistics because it has huge scope. It is quite popular in corporate and also in government examinations. That is what led me to pursue the subject.
Okay. That was also my case also because I was from an ISC background and stats
Okay.
was not an curriculum that is offered apart from mathematics. So yeah, okay. So and next is that during my days actually my bachelor's and masters I have suffered quite a lot with this subject every day. Like it was a suffering, but also I have enjoyed also. So how were your initial days? Like how?
I resonate a lot with your statement, which you just made. I personally too suffered a lot from this subject because of this subject during my bachelor days. However, this was not the case during my masters because, I mean, in bachelors, I won't blame COVID for this because a lot of a lot of my classmates were quite excelling in this subject. But I personally was very much struggling. I could not understand. I could not even understand what a simple random variable is. I did not know, okay, it is a simple function. I was completely, I lost my way, you can say that. But then in masters, I had a very clear objective when I entered that I have to learn statistics because I knew of this examination in statistical services from the very start, from the very first year of my graduation days. So that is how when I made a very firm mindset that yes, I have to learn it now. This won't work. Learning and memorizing formulas simply won't work. You'll have to understand the depth, the concepts very deeply. So when during my masters, I made sure this, and then I guess things gradually, started falling in line when I was doing things from my side. So that is how it went.
Okay, is that you have got a gold medal at you, and why I'm again asking is this question is because cracking an entrance exam is a 100-meter like race, but being consistent overall is like a marathon. So how have you maintained this thing? How have you maintained your routine so that, like, have you planned of getting first or it just happened? It's just the outcome.
Actually, as I just told you that when I entered my masters, the objective was very clear. I mean, that was for the first time in my life that I had gained so much clarity because of the mistakes that I made in my graduation. So that was the reason I studied very consistently. Like even before my post graduation started, I started studying 1 month before that. I was trying to compensate for all those missed years, missed semesters which I wasted in my graduation. So that I think that guilt somewhere and then that clarity that I gained helped me to stay consistent in every semester. to study every subject in very depth, to go for, to go the extra mile in every semester and in almost in every subject. Because I remember I used to refer to a lot of different books, which were not as such required for my own, you can say, university examinations. But then I had this thing that if I'm studying something, I should give it my all. So that thought made me do all all whatever I did. And then I guess gold medal was a byproduct, you can say. It was the side result. It was a sort of a reward which I got for that consistency. And I think things turned pretty well.
So were you enjoying also
Yeah,
studying
actually I
stats?
did. Yeah. I was actually enjoying studying statistics for the first time. And I always knew that the subject is interesting, so you can't deny that.
Yeah,
Because the all the practical applications it holds and all the things like the tests that we do and survey sampling, I mean, these subjects are very different. One person cannot think of them during their school days about what statistics can provide you with.
correct.
So they were quite interesting, quite new, quite refreshing. Like if you say any, like choose say any subject, biostatistics, Bayesian inference, like no one has heard of them, no one knows what lies inside of them. So that curiosity was always there, and I truly enjoyed studying it.
Okay, okay. So can you please tell in detail about the ISS exam? I mean, what is ISS exam and what actually a person does in his or her job after cracking it?
Okay. So ISS stands for basically Indian Statistical Services. It is conducted by UPSC once every year, and it's a grade A service, one of the most prestigious services that statistics field can offer you in India. And basically, this exam is conducted in two phases. Phase one consists of written, and then phase two is of interview. Written paper, you have six papers. Paper one to English and general studies, and then rest of the four papers will be from statistics. Paper one and two of statistics are objective, and then paper three and four are subjective. Each statistics paper consists of basically 200 marks, whereas English and general studies paper are of 100 marks each. They both are of qualifying nature, and also their marks also are added finally to the merit, which will contribute to your rank. Then interview is also of 200 marks. So this is all about the examination. And the basic eligibility for this examination was reduced to only graduation 2019, I guess. Before that, it was also required for the aspirant to be, uh, I guess, to have completed their masters. But I guess in 2019, it was removed and only if you have done your bachelor's in any subject, no, in statistics in any one
Statistics,
of the
yeah,
semesters, yeah,
yeah,
then you can appear for this examination. So that's about it.
yeah.
And as for the job profile, see, I'm not since I've not yet joined the services. I've only cleared the examination yet. So I, as far as I know, abhi tak, it will include all the work which includes numbers. For example, GDP estimation. It will be done by us, and then we have any kind of work like say in Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, or Ministry of Finance, you can say. So there are a lot of things which, data is everywhere. So wherever there is data, and there will be posted there, and we'll have to work with numbers.
Any report that gets posted by the government of India, I think ISS is required a little bit of it.
Reports, yeah, all the survey reports that are published,
Hmm.
basically. NSO, if you have heard,
Hmm,
it
hmm, hmm.
releases the survey reports conducted by National Sample Survey Office. So reports like of PLFS. Then we have other surveys conducted under NSS, where I guess
Census, there can be census.
88th round is going on. No, census is actually dealt by Ministry of Home Affairs. So it does not directly does not directly come under our responsibility. But I'm not sure if people from ISS are posted there at some role or not.
Okay.
So I'm not.
So you have mentioned that the first two papers are English and General Studies.
Yeah.
So In general, a science student usually lags behind in both of them. I have seen that personally. So, how important are those two papers, do you feel? And how have you taken the preparation for these two?
See, both the papers are very important, even though they are of only 100 marks and qualifying nature. By qualifying nature, I mean that you only require to score a certain percent of the marks to be able to appear for the interview or go further in this process. But then their marks are also added. You need to keep that in mind. And even one mark can influence your selection or your rank usually. So I think they're very important. Now, coming to the fact that we do not pay much attention to them, that is absolutely true because, see, like when you come from statistics background, you all you have done in your life is proofs, theorems, direct formulas. You do not have to run your brain to explore something, to give some opinion on some other thing. Things have been very objective in statistics. So that's of course a challenge, I guess, for statistics people to develop good understanding of history. So the history though is still fact based, but then polity, economy, geography. But then I think when I was preparing for this examination, so when I used to prepare for general studies, this used to give me, a refreshment kind of thing. It used to invigorate me because the whole day you are studying statistics, 6 hours, 8 hours, and then 1 hour you give to a subject where things are not that hard also. Like we think it's very difficult, but it's not. I mean, all you have to do is just write something, and most of the questions from general studies follow a very certain pattern. There is an introduction, then comes few points defining if the question is based on a problem or if they're asking you to provide a solution to that. Things are very specific also. It's not that vague or not that opinion based as much as we think. And then there comes a conclusion. So that is all about it. So it used to freshen up. And then English, I would say English, so I guess it's quite easy. The only thing that you need to focus is on your answer writing skills. I
The
mean,
essay writing.
the essay writing. And this is all that matters in GS2. I mean, okay, you can study all the subjects, you have developed good understanding, but then unless and until you write answers actually, you know how to structurize them, how to write your conclusion, how to write it like not in paragraphs but in points. So these things will you will learn through answer writing, through improving on your work writing skills. And then it will help you at both the places, English and GS as well. So I guess that is the key to both the papers.
So, you have practiced writing from the very beginning of your preparation.
Okay, no. So, see, I do not like writing. I, yeah, I have never written in my life and I avoid it. And I avoided it until April or March this year itself. We had the written examination in June, and
Hmm.
then for like ever since I started my preparation from June 2024. So for constantly for 8 to 9 months, I avoided writing because of my habit. But then one day I sat and I wrote something, and I remember it was the worst thing that I wrote in my life. Worst and first, also, you can call it. And then that's the day I realized कि how much do I need to work upon this, and how, like, I cannot ignore this. You cannot throw it under the carpet. Okay, let's leave it, ho jayega, because that's not how it works. Because in the paper, you never know what kind of question is asked. You can never be certain of that. There is no repetition in this. Questions do not repeat in GS.
Hmm.
So you cannot even memorize them and just, write them down. So that's how I decided that I need to work on this. And then for 1 month, daily I used to write something. And I started with very simple and easy topics because there are some technical topics which you require some prior information about. So
For
I used to
example,
avoid them. For example, let's say, they ask you women in politics. Now you can see one can write a very simple direct essay on women empowerment. It can include anything. But then they will be certain about women in politics. Now you need to know certain things about that. You need to have that content, what to write. For example, there was this law, Nari Shakti, in 2023 about the women's reservation in parliament. There were certain amendments, there were certain changes, there have been certain cases which were there in Supreme Court. You need to know about them. You need to prepare that data, collect that data with you. So that is why I started with very simple and easy topics for which I do not require any such thing beforehand.
Okay, okay.
So, for example, the first topic I wrote on was discipline. See, discipline,
Okay.
I mean, it's the simplest thing. I mean, everyone knows what is discipline, even though we hardly follow it. But then we know it what it is, and we know the benefits also of why one should be disciplined. So I started with such easy topics, 50 words, and then I start increased them to 100, 150, 200, and that is how I guess it really improved. I was myself shocked to see that, but I guess it was for the good.
Okay, so you used to write every day. So how much time you have given for writing?
Okay, 1 hour daily I used to sit. And in that 1 hour, I used to break the 60 minutes into, let's say, the first 10 or 20 minutes I used to give to brainstorming, where if I take a name of the topic, let's say patience,
Mm.
then I'll brainstorm what all can I write about it? What are the good points? What are the bad points? So what is some example, daily life simple thing which the reader can relate with? So then after that brainstorming of 10, 15 minutes, I used to go on structuring those points because you cannot do everything simultaneously because you have just begun writing. You're not some
Mm.
expert. So then I used to structure them and then finally in the last 40 minutes or 30 minutes, I used to write it.
Okay. So in this preparation, have you used ChatGPT, those tools for answer writing?
Absolutely. ChatGPT has been one of my best friends in the preparation. I won't lie, okay? And one can actually make very efficient and good use of artificial intelligence, and I think people know that. People are using ChatGPT or Gemini.
Mm.
ChatGPT actually I used it for first of all, ChatGPT was the one who used to give me topics. So they were not chosen by me. I used to ask him, okay, tell me the topic for the day, and then he used to provide me. And it also had reviewed some of my writings, some of my essays. Yeah,
Okay.
where he used to say you can improve this by this, and then it also provided me some lines, some really good statements, which I can include in my introductions or conclusions. And
Okay.
because I used to practice it daily, so they actually retained in my memory till the very end,
Okay.
until the examination. So I clearly wrote them there also. I remember.
Okay. Okay. So then we can go to the current affairs section. So what preparation have you done for that?
Current affairs, see, uh, for current affairs, I started with reading newspaper in 2024 and I read it for 2 months, but then it's very hard. Newspaper, say, padna, it's very difficult because first of all, you are not preparing for CSE, civil
Hmm.
services, where it actually holds that value. Here it does not. So when I started, I guess reading it helped me with two things. First of all, it helped me develop a very general, basic understanding and familiarity with the kind of terms that are used in current affairs, topics like of economy, of polity, of international issues. All right. And then uh, gradually I started finding newspaper very redundant because even if you will read editorials, you will get to know that a lot of articles are repeated. Like not exactly the same ones, but the topics are very much repeated. Like I guess at my time, the topic was of election or something. I don't remember clearly. But then it was getting so much repeated and it was of no value for me. I mean, there will be no question asked from me on elections for the paper, right?
Correct.
So then I gave up on it. And then I started reading current affairs from this monthly magazine released by Vision IAS. It's
Okay.
available online for free. You can access it, and they used to provide every important news which has happened in the past 1 month in a very concise and short notes form. It's like it's listed there point wise, everything about it. Its goods, its bads, everything you'll find it there. So I used to revise that one again and again. And I used to make my own short notes, very short notes. Like short notes are were such that no one other than me can understand them. They were like that. Yeah, they were very short, extremely short. Like there were no full sentences. They were only key terms which only I can understand because I have written them. So such that is how I
Okay.
prepared for it.
Okay. And then there are four statistics papers. So
Yeah.
you can also share your strategy how you have done that.
Okay. So paper one and two, they are objective papers. Paper one basically deals with your descriptive statistics, all the kind of tests that you do in statistics. And then it also has numerical analysis, which is a part of mathematics, and then computer, that is paper one. Now, for computer, you can refer to any of the book by E. Balaguru Swami or Rima Thareja. People must have heard its name if they're preparing for this examination. And other than that, I guess PYQs, practice them again and again. Understand some concepts in a bit of depth if in case you are new to computer. For example, I did not study it as I was not familiar with some concepts of computer because I had not taken it up in my 11th or 12th in school.
For
Some students
example,
do.
can you say some example?
For example, internet and its protocols. So there are certain types of yeah. I mean, okay, we know some basic things about internet, but
Uh,
then there are some very theoretical things which we are new to. So
so theoretical questions
the,
used to come in computer science section.
it was all MCQ based, even though,
I mean,
but
any programming or just theoretical concepts.
programming, not this year, not this year. It used to be there, I guess, 4 or 5 years back. Some questions were there, or like they provided you a simple code and they asked you what will be the output. But then I don't think I have seen them for last 2 3 years in the PYQs.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you should practice them as well if you are doing things by giving them time. Then coming to numerical analysis, the only key to this subject is practicing computations like calculating with your hand, everything. And this year the paper was too much calculative. I had to leave a number of questions in numerical analysis because it included too much computations, which is a waste of time in case you arrive at a wrong result.
Correct.
It's the most frustrating thing during the paper. Like you have calculated something for say 2 3 minutes regularly, and then you don't even find your option. There's no option which shows your answer there. So I just left them. कि, okay, इनमें नहीं मारते हैं sir. So that was the trick. But I guess doing repetitive exercises of the same questions also helps. I mean, you don't have to rush here and there for this subject also. You can refer to H.C. Saxena. It's a very standard book for this paper. Certain examples of that book arrive directly in the examination. And PYQs, practice them again and again and improve your computations. Now getting to statistics.
Just one question. So, how have
Yeah.
you approached the paper? I mean, which sections have you attempted first, and which sections
Okay.
you didn't attempt? You kept it for last. I hope
Okay.
numerical analysis. I think you will have kept it for last. I
No, no, I did not.
no. Okay.
Okay, so I started with computer section
Okay.
because 15 minutes you can give to computer section out of the 2 hours that you'll get. And after that, I moved to numerical analysis, which I kept 30 minutes, not more than that, but I guess it took me more than that there because as I told you, questions were very much calculative. Then the last remaining how many minutes? 30, 15, and then
1
40,
hour 15 minutes.
1 hour, 15 minutes. You will have these minutes left for your statistics. which will consist of 40 questions out of the 80 provided.
Okay.
So that will be, yeah.
Okay.
Because see, you are a statistics student. So I think you should leave that for the last.
Okay.
Because okay, we are done with computer, we are done with numerical analysis. Now we'll do stats only. So that is how I planned it. And also, I kept the number of questions that I have to attempt very fixed. See,
Okay.
objective papers were not my strengths for this examination because I have never appeared for comparative examinations as such. Like, I can understand people who give jam or who even clear it, they gain a very better understanding of how to do that. They know the trick, or I don't know. But this quality of attempting objective papers is very good. I'll have to say that. I did not have any such thing. So I was very certain with how many questions I have to attempt. For example, I made up my mind that I'll attempt about 50 questions where I'll be very certain. 50, or let's say not less than 45. 45 should be the
Okay.
least. If I'm not able to do that also, then I think I knew that I won't be able to make it this time. So that was the goal. And then I'll attempt 6 or 7 questions where I'll be 50-50. You can just eliminate options. And then if needed, only if needed, if I'm not able to reach the 60 questions mark out of 80, then only
Okay.
I'll mark some questions, 2-3 questions where it'll be a pure guesswork, and I'll only make an educated guess. I do not know ABCD of that question. So that was the strategy, and I guess it worked for me.
Negative marking was there.
Yeah, negative marking was
Okay.
there, which is the
Otherwise,
reason that you'll have
yeah.
to, yeah. Otherwise, so you can attempt every question.
Yes,
You should
yes.
attempt every question. Otherwise, negative marking, 1/3 of the mark is allocated for negative marking.
So for the second paper, you can go on.
Yeah, for the second paper, basically statistical inference is the largest portion of that paper. Inference, see, inference has a very limited number of topics, if you will see, compared to descriptive statistics or other things. I mean, it has limited variety of questions. So what you can do is that focus on practicing questions from JAM, GATE, NET, or CUET, or whatever exam paper you have access to, along with obviously the PYQs of ISS itself, and practice them again and again, do repetitions. Make sure that you are very clear in your head with certain topics, certain things. For example, questions based on normal distribution. They are asked often. Like, there is no single time where a question on them is not asked. On it is not asked, normal distribution. 4 5 questions you will find it on it easily. So make sure you have clarity. You know, like, you read the question and you know it. You don't have to solve it there to arrive at your answer or anything like that. So make sure you save your time there. Then non-parametric tests, actually it's a very bad topic. I mean, I hate it. Yeah, because even if you understand everything, you know what test is this, that, they are very confusing, first of all, the statistics they use and then the kind of things they do. But then at the end, the question, I was never able to solve it. Even after studying hours of NPT, I was never able to solve the question. I don't know, I used to forget the statistic or something like that. So I was not very concerned by this because I was relying more on other things. For example, official statistics or linear models. Second part is linear models. Linear models is, I guess it's quite easy. It's not that difficult. With a basic regression and then ANOVA, these are the main topics. For regression, you can refer to the book Linear Regression by Montgomery. It's a good book for developing understanding. Then for ANOVA, Fundamental of Applied Statistics, I guess it should be more than sufficient. Practice PYQs again and again. Go for repetitions, and that is enough. Then you have official statistics, very bad subject. Like, it's not even a subject. It is, oh my god, what is it? Anyways, official statistics, I think, uh, like, open your laptop or phone or whatever. Go to websites, read their reports, press releases, make notes, note down very important detailed things written on them, and that is the key to it. Nothing else will help you. Do not rely very much on similar notes of other people, because see, people often ignore note making as if it's only a time consuming process. But I think it's also a productive process where you actually go through things yourself. You write each word by yourself, you know what it means, why you have written it there. And that knowing to the why and what is very important for any examination, I believe. So please focus on that also. Note making is very much a part of preparation. It's not a, only a purely a time consuming process. It will help you. So
Just
yeah,
one
I
question,
mean,
sorry. When did you start preparing for official statistics during your?
okay, that's a good question actually. Um, Official statistics, I started preparing it at the very end because, as I told you, it never gets over. I mean, you'll never be able to say that, yes, I'm done with official statistics because it's vast. There are no boundaries for the subject. Anything and almost everything out there regarding data can be official statistics. So I started with it in February this year itself. And then February, March, April. Like in February and March, I covered most of the things, like 80% of the things were covered. But then there are certain things which are not static, they are always constant, they are always revising. For example, CPI is released every month. So we had our exam on, I guess, 19th, and then on 12th, that month itself, CPI was released. Then we had to update our data with the latest one. So that is the thing with a few topics.
Okay, paper three.
Okay. Yeah, and also same for the paper too. I started with official statistics first 15 minutes because obviously questions are not, you don't have to solve anything. They're not mathematical. They are simply based on a memory. You will have to tick. And then I moved on to linear models, allotting it 20 minutes, 30 minutes maximum. And then the rest of the time was inference. Now paper three. Okay, paper three, vast paper. It actually includes three subjects. First is survey sampling. And okay,
Super bad subject.
yeah. And
I used
then
to
there
feel.
is, okay, it's my favorite subject though. Second is econometrics. And then third paper, we have applied statistics, which includes index number, demand analysis, and time series analysis. Yeah, it is one of the toughest, one of, not even one of, like, it is actually the toughest paper for, in the
Index
whole
numbers, I remember during my bachelor's days, index numbers were so bad.
index number, though, I guess it's quite easy. Time
Not
series
easy, like
analysis,
so many definitions,
that is
so many
difficult, but
formulas.
there is nothing that you need to
Think.
understand as
Uh-huh.
such. Yeah, understand or think. It's simple and direct. Now, talking of survey sampling, so I think if you are in a bachelor's or master's, and if you have done this subject there very well, so you do not need to fear this at all. It actually becomes your favorite subject if you understand it, because I know that there are different notations, similar topics, multiple proofs. There is nothing other than this in this whole subject, but then it is actually easy. Okay. The standard book is basically fundamental of applied statistics, but then it does not include certain kinds of sampling. You can refer to a book by Archana Bansal. It's a good book. It also includes a number of numericals, solve numericals, which are also good if you can practice them, because I guess focus on numericals in paper three is increasing year by year. Every year they are increasing their focus on numericals. They're incorporating more of them, and the questions are also more application based instead of direct proof of some theorem.
Okay.
Yeah, so a good understanding is definitely required. You cannot just rote learn everything. And these are the standard books that I just told. Apart from that, IIT K. Shalab sir's notes. are also available. You must be aware of it. Are also available online, so you can refer to them. And now arriving at econometrics. Econometrics, see, it actually seems to be the easiest, you know. Like once you have covered the subject, it seems easy. Everything like multicollinearity, heteroscedasticity. Okay, I know this, I know this. But then this is the only subject from where there will be questions in the paper you will not be able to solve. Like even in the PYQs, even in the PYQs, there are some questions only from econometrics which have not yet been solved by anyone. So yeah, question wise, this paper is the most difficult. So I will not suggest you that you need to panic about such questions. Do not focus on them. Some questions are supposed to be there which cannot be solved by aspirants or people like us. But then focus on other things of the subject. Some aspects are very fixed. For example, there has to be a question on either multicollinearity, heteroscedasticity, or autocorrelation. There has to be a question on one of them. It's like a rule, unwritten rule. So focus on such fixed things and do not rush behind those questions which you are not able to solve. Also cover simultaneous equations model well. This topic is actually quite, marks yielding. Then there's also this book by M. Shehzad Chaudhary, Econometrics. It's a good book. It consists of some solved examples based on simultaneous equations model and all the other things that I mentioned. And the questions are very good. They'll help you develop a deeper understanding of everything that you're learning. Then the standard book for the subject is Damodar and Gujarati, if you have heard of it. You can make your notes from there also, or IIT K Shalabh sir's notes are also, I guess, available online for the subject. They'll also help you.
Okay.
And now, yeah, now getting to index, we have discussed this quite simple and direct. Fundamentals of applied statistics is the only and most like it's the only sufficient source that you require to study for this. But then make sure you repeat your questions, you repeat your theory, you repeat your revisions because the focus is increasing on these two subjects. Initially, they used to be very much ignored by the whoever set the paper earlier, but then by each year they are putting they're necessarily putting questions from index numbers and demand analysis. So make sure you do them well, like repeat your learning. Then last is time series. Okay, this was something I used to fear in this paper. And see, the basic time series, you can cover it from fundamentals of applied statistics. That portion is easy. That portion has no problem in it. It is simple. Okay, we have to estimate the trend, we have to estimate seasonality. These are the methods, etc. But then the tricky portion starts with where you start doing stochastic time series. There is no as such fixed book for this, one book particular for this, like FAS. So what I did was I uh, read this whole topic from a number of books actually. Uh, one of the book was it was by Peter J. Brockwell. I do not remember the title of the book, but it is a good book if you can read it for your understanding. Then there is also a book by George E.P. Box. I guess the name is Time Series Analysis itself. And these are good books for gaining a good understanding for the subject. Then for notes, I guess people must be familiar with Astitva Ranjan Srivastav. He actually was the AIR-1 in 2022 for ISS.
Okay.
So he has his own Telegram channel, and there he has shared his own notes of every subject. I mean, wow, of every subject, a PDF is there, and I referred to them a lot throughout my preparation. So for time series, you can refer to that. Also, practice numericals. Numericals are actually they appear to be very tough, to be very uh, difficult, but then they are not actually. You will practice them not once or simply twice, but then again and again, and you will get it all, and you'll make your way through it. Also, a suggestion is there that when I say practice or revise, so please take this actually literally. By revise, I mean that write everything. Revise by writing, not by reading or going turning pages simply of your own notes, yeah, anything like that. Write it actually, and then also give your own mock tests. Like, do not wait for some test series of some coaching institute to start. Okay, it will start on its own time. Give that also. For example, I was very serious with the test series of my own coaching institute, which was, I think, a good thing which helped me. But then, even before that started, I was giving my own tests. I made them myself. I used to review them myself because things are pretty simple and straight. You have your notes in front of them, you know what is right, what is wrong. You can check them yourself. So that is how I prepared. Arriving at the last paper four, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm.
Paper four, to tell you, there are basically seven subjects which are offered to us as an option, and we have to choose two out of them. And now my choices were multivariate analysis and statistical quality control. Reason was that I covered them well in my masters. So I knew what I had to study and from where I had to study. SQC, actually, I studied it in the last semester of my master's, so I could remember almost everything about this. So that was the reason I chose them. There was no other reason. There was no such reason like I find them extremely easy or I find them extremely doable or in comparison to the other subjects because there is no such thing. Okay, this is easy and this is hard. It's all about your comfort and your understanding of the subject and your knowledge of how in depth you know the concept. So that is all that matters. Now, regarding SQC, the standard book FAS, Fundamental of Applied Statistics, again,
Hmm.
it's the best book out there. For some topics which are not provided in it, you can refer to Statistical Quality Control by Montgomery. Again, it's a good book. Only for some selected topics, not the whole book. You don't have to read that. Then for multivariate analysis, I don't remember the name of the book, um, but I guess I have mentioned it in my blog, which I have posted on Substack. If you have seen it or some people have seen it, so you can refer the name from there. And the numericals for MBA, they actually again, Assis Pranil Srivastava in his notes have actually provided a number of numericals with their solutions. So you can practice them again and again, also along with the PYQs. So that will be sufficient.
Okay. So, and how frequent was your writing during the statistics portion, basically?
For paper three and paper four, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, frequent. I used to write daily. Daily, I
After
used to write.
March, you have told.
No, like no, not after March.
Oh,
Ever since I
GS and
started
English you used to write after March.
English, I used to write after March.
English.
Huh.
So GS you used to write from the beginning.
No, no, write. GS, I used to study from the beginning, like make notes, understand things like that. Writing, answer writing on mock question papers, I did after March this year. But then about statistics, I have been I had been writing statistics ever since I started my preparation, actually. Like,
Okay.
I was done with one subject, and then as soon as I was done, I used to move to the revision part of that. I never missed or I never left one subject completely. I always used to keep it somewhere in my revision, or either it was weekly or every day or on alternate days. But I always used to keep it close to my memory so that I don't forget it again. That was the thing. They
Okay.
don't,
So
I mean, again, don't wait for March or April or February of another year that
yeah.
to think that then you'll start writing. No, it does not go actually like that. You have to start writing from the very first day you start your preparation. Make your own notes, and then next day write your own notes again. Practice it, revise it through writing only. So that is how things go better.
Yeah, I also feel statistics without writing you won't remember anything actually. The proofs
No,
or
actually,
anything.
right,
Sums.
right. Yeah, because notations and then some things are very specific. You cannot make up them yourself or derive them yourself. through some magic. You will have to learn them, and that comes with only writing.
Okay. So what was your daily schedule during your preparation of the ISS?
Okay, my daily schedule actually used to vary a lot because I had changed my strategies almost every month. Every month I used to come up with a new strategy. I never stick to one because things keep evolving. I mean,
Correct.
okay, I started with one thing that okay, I'll in the morning first 2 hours I'll allocate this to this subject, then 3 hours to this subject of the noon, then in the evening I'll do this. But then by the end of the month I used to feel okay, this is not working, this is not helping me, I'm not able to uh, learn things effectively. Then I used to make changes in it according to my schedule, according to my likings or my capabilities. So that is how it evolved. And then, see, in brief, if I had to tell my schedule, like the average schedule, I would say this was not one thing that I followed, but on average, um, the whole daytime used to go to statistics, like starting from, let's say, I was never a morning person to skip the mornings. So starting from 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning
Okay.
till 4 or 5 p.m. in the evening. This used to go to statistics with obviously breaks in between. You cannot work
Yeah, yeah,
continuously.
sure.
Yeah. And then the evening 2 or 3 hours used to go to GS or any other extra part because
Oh,
your mind works best in the morning, right? By the evening you start feeling tired. So that evening part I used to keep for GS because it does not require much of your brain. You just have to simply read it or watch some YouTube video. So that was the thing.
okay. And I think you have taken the preparation without joining any job or any other thing, right? So
Yeah,
fully
no, I did
prepared.
not.
So
Yes, I
yeah.
only prepared for 1 year.
Okay. So if something happened, like if you didn't crack the exam, so any plan B for that, or how did you manage that fear or anything like that came to your mind?
Yeah, it was very tough to take this decision back in my master's when I stepped out of the placement cell. Um, it was tough because there's always an uncertainty associated with any government exam that you appear for. Okay, you can give your best 100%, 110%, but then you can never be certain, कि, yes, I will qualify this. You'll never be able to say this. So of course there was a fear, but then I know myself, okay? So I know that if I had taken up a job and if side by side I was preparing, let's say, and which a lot of people did and cracked also, but then if I was doing that, I knew that I would not be able to give my 100% to this examination. I will be preparing with a very laid back attitude because I know that I have some financial security with me and I'm working already. And so that was the thing, that was the belief that I worked with and I made my decisions with. Even though there was fear, definitely. And even after this fear led me to learn some things even after my written or interview. When my interview, I guess, written was done, and I was waiting for the result, or I was waiting for the interview dates to come out. I was learning some technical skills so that if in future, if I failed here, then I'll have to appear for corporate applications, fill them. Then I was like, okay, I need to learn some tech savvy skills because I'm not very tech savvy person. So I was learning SQL and I was learning some other AI incorporated things during that time. But I guess uh, that fear only that you are talking about now, there was a fear. That fear pushed me also throughout this preparation because whenever uh, I used to get lousy about preparing or about studying. I used to fear कि भाई नहीं हुआ तो क्या करेंगे? What will I do? Because I know it's hard to get a placement, especially if not through a campus on your own. It's very difficult, and given the market situations which I hear from my corporate friends, so I knew things are going to be difficult if I do not make it. So that was the thing. And apart from that, I think corporate was also corporate was then also the last option. Even like had I just I had I had sorry, what am I saying? Had I had not cleared this examination, then I guess I was planning to appear for RBI next year. And
DSIM. That
yeah, DSIM. And then I was also planning to appear in GATE this year, like in 2026.
after get what? PhD.
After GATE, I don't know. I have heard that people get some eligibility after qualifying GATE. So I was like, let's do this. It's okay. It's statistics only.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the plan. And then maybe after that, even if if everything fails, if GATE fails, if RBI DSIM fails, if ISS fails twice, or let's say thrice, then I would have appeared for corporate finally, and then maybe it would have taken me an year or something to get a job. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So we haven't talked about your interview preparation or how we have prepared or what you have faced during the interview. So can you please tell that?
Okay, so for interview, actually, I prepared a lot, but still my interview went very bad. Okay, I prepared. That's the thing about interview. You can never know how it goes. And now I think, what if I had not prepared? Maybe, things would have been different, but it's okay. So my preparation basically, first thing was there that they informed us only 12 days prior that we'll be conducting your interview. So because of that, we could not give any offline interview, like in person one, where we walk in the room. And all preparation that I did was online only, which I don't believe in much. I don't believe in online things, but I had to. So there was, I have a very close friend who used to conduct my mock interviews daily, like for 8 to 10 days she conducted. And since she's preparing for UPSC CSE, so she already has this vast knowledge of things that I don't know about. So her questions used to be really good, and I also gave her my DAF, detailed application form, and we used to practice formal conversation and how will I react to things when I do not know an answer. How will I react to things if they are trying to criticize me during the interview? So these were something that I needed to learn. And there were moments when things get tough when you become vulnerable in front of others. It's not that easy. Okay, like you think in your head that you are good at something, but then you actually appear for it, and then it turns out you are not. And then you start feeling that self doubt starts coming, and then things feel falling. Okay, nahi hoga mujhse, yeah, it's not happening, it's not going to happen. There were moments like this, but then I think going through that in the process is what makes you strong. That is actually the preparation that you are doing, because when you enter the room, do not first of all enter with any expectations. Do not expect anything. Do not expect that they'll start with this question or that question. Do not expect that it will go good, or either it will go bad also. Just go there with that calm and peaceful mindset and composure, that okay, whatever happens, I know myself, I have done this, and I can do this. So that is how I think you will overcome the fear.
So another part that I have felt during my competitive preparation during my bachelor's days is that one thing is loneliness. Okay, so you have to like keep yourself aloof from the whole group of friends and you have to prepare with one-minded focus, right? Otherwise, you know that you won't crack it because the competition is really huge. So have you faced that? I think everyone faces that. And if you have faced that, how you have coped it up? Like, did spirituality has helped you in any way or sort of? So,
So I think I would consider myself lucky that I was nowhere lonely in the process of this preparation. And I'm very close to my mother at my home. I also have a few very close friends whom I used to talk to daily during this preparation. See, I don't believe that you have to prepare in isolation. You have to isolate yourself from all the social gatherings or all your social circles. Yeah, you have to limit down things. You have to draw boundaries from how much you can enjoy or how much you can go out and etc. But then you cannot isolate yourself completely. You cannot uh, take the stress, take the pressure on your own. You will have to share it with someone to lighten it up and then also to make your preparation more effective because then it also impacts your mental health, right? So that is one thing. Apart from that, yes, spirituality, I think it has definitely helped me. I also used to read Bhagavad Gita in between during my preparation. And I also have mentioned this in my blog that the famous line from it that focus on your karma and not the result. I think it's very difficult to achieve that. All right. I mean, okay, you read it. Almost every second sentence from Bhagavad Gita feels impossible to achieve. Like, okay, how will I do this? I am just a normal human being. But then you try. You don't give up. You try. You keep on trying. Even if it's not achieved, even if you still uh, fear or you still think of the result, which we all do, definitely. But then it helps you look at things from a different perspective. That see, there is also one thing which was in Bhagavad Gita that who deserves what is not decided by you. You do not know that what you deserve or what someone else deserves. So when we say that that person deserves that or that person does not deserve that, we actually do not know. We do not know what is his karmic past or karmic present. We do not know that. We only know that person for maybe a month, a year, or some time. So that is also one thing that helped me because if I sometimes I used to say to my mother that Mama, I deserve this, okay? I deserve to be ISS because I have studied. And then I used to remember, I used to like uh, remind myself that no, actually, how do you know that you deserve something? You only know the past 1 year that you have prepared for. What about your past? What about what you have done? And that is all in the hands of, you know, Bhagwan, you can say. So that is, I guess, all these small learnings, they used to remind me at different times and anxious time, more appropriately, that I do not know if I deserve this or not. And it's okay, it's completely okay, even if I do not clear. Things will not end, your life will not end. There are other things to do, all right. And yeah, that is how it helped me. I also used to chant name, नाम जप जिसको बोलते हैं, if you
हरि
have heard
क्या?
of it.
या हरिनाम जाप आप करते क्या?
Yeah, Naam Jap, chanting the name. Yeah, so I used to chant that. Like I used to sleep while I used to chant the name.
So
So
what
that was
names
one
did
thing.
you chant? What name you used to chant?
Radha, 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 simple.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but actually my mother listens to a lot of satsangs by Premanand Ji Maharaj, if you have heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So while she used to listen, I used to also overhear all of that. And I think that has given me a positive influence and it has, you know, it pulls you out of that darkness where you think that your life will end after this exam if you don't clear it. And all the more because of the fear that I do not also have a job. What will I do? Like as you asked me earlier that you did not take up a job. How were you so sure? This, that. So it used to pull me out of that. I used to chant the name, and that was, you can say that I used to escape all sorts of anxiety or stress just by doing that, and that enabled me or helped me to sleep and, you know, prepare more effectively.
Okay, okay. So, your any last advice to the aspirants that are pursuing for the ISS?
Advice, see, first of all, if whoever is watching this video, if you are in your bachelor's or in post graduation taking studying statistics and thinking to appear for this examination, I would suggest that make sure you study statistics Yeah, that you actually study it. We actually underestimate the meaning of the term study. It means a lot. It does not mean scoring good marks and doing or rote learning anything. It actually means that you go the extra mile, read the extra reference that is mentioned in the syllabus, and ask questions from your professors, from your classmates, or whoever person that you can find holds some knowledge. Learn things and keep keep your mindset of that type, or at least try that anything or everything that you are knowing in your graduation, post graduation, or even if you are preparing for this exam right now, that it's all learning that you are learning right now. I mean, it's all knowledge that you are gaining. It will never go waste. I mean, in my masters, I have uh, I have read things which one can say that when will you use it? It is of no use. It's very redundant or this that. But then I used to think no, it will definitely help you somewhere, even if it gives you that 1% of confidence that you require. Confidence also matters a lot in any kind of examination. So that is how it will contribute, even if not directly. And to all the people who are thinking to appear next year, there are some basic things that you need to keep in mind. First of all, make sure that you are in touch with people, with your peers who are preparing for this examination, and especially with those whom you think that know more statistics than you. Make sure there are people like such people, because uh, first of all, they help you with solving your doubts for objective papers. Because I used to send my doubts to this one guy who did his master's from IIT. So he cracked JAM, and as we all know that they have very good knowledge of objective statistics. So I used to send my doubts there. So that is one thing. Also, they provide you another perspective of looking at questions, a very different, a very new perspective, which forces growth. So that is one thing. Second, write as much as you can. It, matlab, please do not avoid it at any cost. It is the most important thing. Make your own notes, right? And your own notes, like making them is also a part of the preparation. Do not avoid it thinking it's just a waste of time or anything like that. And lastly, prepare as much as you can through tests. Do not simply, I mean, writing helps, of course, but then writing uh, in the form of a test where you are testing yourself. Okay, okay, yesterday I read this, let's test if I'm able to do that. And the more mistakes you make there, the more it will help you to actually learn things, to actually gain more marks. That is a direct impact. So these are some few basic tips and advice that I'd like to suggest. That's it.
Okay, so thank you, Kashish.
Yeah, thank
I also get to learn many things from you through this
you.
podcast.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you very much. Thank you.
all right.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.